Hello, welcome to crabstickz. Basically, I've been on this massive week-long European trip with PJ and his friend Tom, and guess what? I've got some travel footage for you. Yeah? Everyone loves travel footage, other people's holiday snaps, yeah? And I've got hours of it. Yeah, so basically, PJ and his friend Tom, who go to university together, they had to do a film project. So they decided to do this kind of like European trip, document it, and make a film out of it. So I took my camera along as well and thought, you know what? I'll make a movie too! I was a little bit apprehensive about this. I mean, I haven't travelled a lot. I went to Cyprus once as a kid to a holiday resort. I've been to Italy to a holiday resort. I've never really been in deep into the wild. So I was a bit nervous. I did think that we had this attitude of, you know, let's try everything once. Might have been translated by some European murderers. Hey, look at these guys. Let's get them inside this unmarked taxi. But it was cool, it was fine. We went on the Eurostar, arrived in Paris. Something you should know about me as well is I'm a very cultural person. I'm like a sponge. I went to Paris and I instantly became Parisian. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the kind of person I am. I absorb cultures. So, I mean, as soon as I got off, I was like, bonjour to everyone. Like, bonjour, merci, Moulin Rouge. You know, I was French. I mean, I didn't know the language. I still don't. But I was in essence French. There's only one thing that will stick out for the rest of my life, and it's this strange scam that goes on around Paris for tourists. And basically, say you're walking around some big touristy thing, like a church or something, where all the tourists hang out. There's these guys with little bits of wire, okay? And they come up to you quite forcibly, and they'll try and get your finger from you and tie a bit of wire around it. And of course this wire is then attached to their finger, okay? And they'll say, right, €5 and you can have your finger back, I'll cut the wire, you can go and live your life. If not, you're staying with me. Now, when somebody told me about this, I thought, that's a bit funny. You know, I can imagine, you know, some crazy Parisian mime coming up to you and being like, ooh, 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 and you being like, oh, you got me, you daft bastard. All right, here, have your euros. Or maybe like some kids, some lovable scamps. Oh, okay, here's €5, you little scamp. Ruffle the hair. But no, it turns out it's big thugs. Big thugs do it. We also stayed at this wonderful hostel. Being the noob travelling as I am, you know, I was instantly terrified. I heard the word hostel and instantly thought about the film Hostel, which is about this murderer. But, you know, it turns out it was fine. You know, I mean, the day before I actually went travelling, I was having a shower and I had a flash forward to, like, imagine we're in the hostel and we've been trapped in a basement somewhere, and, you know, this European guy with a hairy chest and his shirt off, you know, drinking Baileys straight from the bottle, is just like firing a fireman's hose at us three, and we're all naked on the other side of the room screaming, please, leave us alone, we're British. And he's saying like, you're my boys now. But it turns out it was fine, you know. There was an ensuite and we had a free breakfast in the morning. I mean, we went to a lot of places on this trip, and I'll say that even though Paris is obviously the big one, Paris is, you know, Paris, it was kind of lame. There was lots of tourism, lots of expensive stuff, lots of scary people, you know, and I've heard a rumour, it's just a rumour, I didn't actually see it, but I've heard that they let rats cook. So, I'm not xenophobic, but we also went to that church that they built for so that the animators had something to draw for that Disney film, Notre Dame, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was nice. But I mean, it's just another church, isn't it? We have churches. Lame. What was interesting was there was this guy underneath that, I don't know if it was a superpower or he had seeds in his hand, but he could control all the birds of the area. I love how nonchalant he is. He smelled like poo though, so. That's Paris for you, you know, I can tick that off the bucket list now. Everyone has a bucket list. I mean, I didn't actually have go to Paris on the bucket list, but it feels good to cross things off it, so I put it on after I went and then crossed it out again. I also have number 13 is have a threesome in Paris, which is still on there.